Rob Williams, Rob, the hockey guys, the national sports editor of the Daily Hive and their Offside Sports vertical. Mr. Williams, how are you?
Doing great, fellas. How are you? It's hockey
Fantastic.
season.
Fabulous.
I can smell it in the air.
Yes.
So when does it start for you then? To ask the poll question we were asking on Tuesday.
Well, I was on the ice in late August, but no, yeah, I feel like it's kind of now, like it's first day of school, but I feel like we're out of the dog days of summer, and now we're into like rehashing everything from last season that feels kind of relevant again because the season's just around the corner.
Want to get in the mood, walk into a hockey store, and oh my goodness,
yes.
the head will be spinning with activity.
Busy these days.
I'm on the ice for my first men's league game tonight, though, so I shouldn't overlook that big game.
Yes, well, it's definitely big for you.
Hey, big 2 points.
Big 2
right?
points, yeah. Points now, same as points later.
That's right. That's right.
Or wherever it is you're playing.
If you're not suspended for a game like Tom Wielander, you're allowed to play in the first game of the season.
No suspensions. I'm better now. As I've aged, I stay out of the box more now as I've gotten older.
So you retain eligibility. Good to hear,
that's good.
Williams. Hey, you guys followed up on our Monday Labor Day show with Piero Manetta. The guy's been sitting behind the visitors bench at Rogers Arena for 20 years. Every Canucks fan knows the face. And we decided, you know what? Like, we had an intermediary who knew the guy, and we said, let's tell this guy's story because I think it's one that's lacking out there. And I understand that Daily Hive readers were particularly interested in Piero as well.
Yeah, guys, I love the holiday shows are just awesome. Juggy was great as well, and I always tune into those. Yeah, like this is kudos to you guys for finding him. Like this is like a guy that I never really considered trying to find, but yeah, it's like a guy that everyone knows, but nobody knows anything about, and everyone sort of has said whatever they've said about him. So yeah, I just thought it was a funny perspective in terms of like, him knowing what everyone has said about him and dropping the thing that everyone thinks he was in the mafia and stuff like that. I thought that was fantastic. And then we had some readers that were like, oh yeah, saying he's not in the mafia is exactly what somebody in the mob would say, and so all those kinds of things.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I got a kick out of it, and our readers did too.
And then right down to the innocent of, we got a lot of comments saying we've watched his kids grow up there. From having the big headphones on when they were young to the walking, talking.
And I love that you had a screenshot too, where you circled his face behind there to show people what you're talking about.
But yeah, like I thought it was interesting. I don't know what I thought he was going to sound like, but that wasn't it. Like he just sounded like just such just a regular, regular Joe, like he said. So I thought that was great stuff.
Well, and we've gotten a ton of feedback from all sorts of people who saying, thank you for finally unveiling Piero and who he is, because he's a sweetheart of a guy.
Good East fan, he's a good East fan guy. You guys.
There you go.
I knew it.
Yeah, absolutely. Summer. Talk so much of it in the exit meetings last April and sending players off into their off season. We were talking about this yesterday, Rob. Who do you think amongst the players, like who would you have a lot of faith and confidence and trust in that they heeded coach's word and went out there and had a big summer?
Certainly sounds like it's Brock Boeser, doesn't it? Like he's here early. He's, talking about all the different changes he made in the summer. I mean, if there's a guy that's motivated to come back and kind of regain a bit of his old former form, I think it's Brock Boeser. Now, we said something similar last year, the 30 goals, he was motivated then there was an injury and all the rest. I feel like I'm higher on Boeser than most. I still think that there's more there. I don't think that the guy that we've seen the last couple of years is the guy that we're going to see this year. I think we're going to see an uptick from Boeser. And I think that, making changes in the summer and really being committed, I think there's probably nobody more than Brock Boeser this offseason. I think he's a guy that has a lot of pride. He has a lot of talent, and I think he's going to be coming in very motivated this season.
How quickly do you think the hook gets set by Boeser into the fans with a decent start? He's got 4 goals in 8 games, and are people deifying Brock Boeser once again like they did when he was a rookie?
Absolutely. People love, I mean, people, how can you
They want to love him, don't they? They want to love him.
How can you not pull for him, right? Like,
Yeah.
like his whole story, he's been here forever. Like everyone, knows what he's been through.
The hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the hair, and then just and even things like like last year saying he's going to score 30 goals. I think fans eat that stuff up. He's always really great with the media, and I think that translates to the fans as well. They see how open and honest he is about things, and he's been like vulnerable, I think, in front of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so that's a guy that you want to pull for, right?
And on top of all that, gents, he was the first.
Yes.
Before fans could hang their hat on Petey or Hughes or Demko.
He was the first
and he was the first member of the core. And look, we've had the debate about whether he is still a member of the core, but he was the first guy that provided hope during what were some really dark, awful days filled with a lot of boring hockey. And he was not a boring player when he arrived, from the very first game in Minnesota. So I'm with you, Rob. I think the market is pulling for Brock in a huge way, and it would be a hell of a comeback story if he was able to get to 30 goals and be that frontline offensive contributor that everybody hoped he would be after that sensational rookie season. Answer me today's poll question. What's the biggest training camp curiosity for you? Is it Boeser? Is it Tanner Pearson and his health? Is it Hronek? Is it Mikheyev? Where are you going on that?
Yeah, I think that there's... if you could say like if you could group three players together, I think it'd be their new like top four defensemen that they've all brought in: Ian Cole, Carson Soucy, and Philip Hronek. Given that we didn't really see the best of him last season, I think that there's that group as a whole. Like, can they fix the back end? If we're talking about a singular player, might be Pius Suter. The difference in this team, if they have a stability at third line center, is going to be such a difference, I think. So yeah, those two, I mean, it's those defensive, defensively important roles that, like, can they just, it's the guys that are going to be able to prevent disaster. You know what I mean? Like, prevent multiple goal leads being given up like they were at the beginning of last season. So for me, those are the guys that I'm going to be really having my eye on.
I wonder about the entertainment value of this team. It's been entertaining to watch the highs and lows of this team. Blown leads washed away by their own offense. What do you think the entertainment value is going to be like of this team this year? Do you think it'll be a little less?
I think fans would gladly see a little bit more boring hockey if it leads to more W's this season.
But only if, though, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, if it leads to more wins. If they're still a 500 team, less entertaining, I don't know that people will be satisfied with that.
I think there's going to be less fire wagon hockey, like there has to be, right?
Yeah.
But I do think ultimately, in pure hockey terms, are they going to be less entertaining? I think so, but I think that it should lead to a few more wins, and if I think that fans are going to find that pretty exciting on their own if they can pull it off. If they're both boring and bad, that's the worst, of course.
Yes. So long as they win more games, I think people will deal with a downtick in goals if that comes to pass with Coach Tocchet and his structure and his system. Rob, we had a great summer together, buddy. All right. That was a big summer with Rob Williams, who rode with us throughout. Thank you for that, and we will catch up next week. This Sekeres Price clip brought to you by Bodog. Make a play at Canada's choice for free casino games, sports odds, and poker strategies.